So what is it like being a cat person working here? Do you use a mouse? Ha ha ha.
Hello. I don't know why I do this to myself.
So somebody got on here calling me ignorant for saying that I think that it's wrong for people to commodify a culture that they're not a part of and sell their food for a hiked up price. And before you ask, that person was...
Of course. It's very important to mention a person's skin color in every single situation. And in regards to a person deciding what prices they want to charge when they open an eatery, well, that's completely their prerogative.
Okay, and I'm going to respond to this comment because I already blocked them. You're not going to stress me out.
Good for you. You don't like someone to the point where you heinously disagree with them, so you block them. Well, that's a healthy thing to do.
They went on to miss my point because that's what people are good at. They love to miss the point. So somebody got on here calling me ignorant.
Looks like they may have had a point.
She got on here and said, oh, well, since I cook Italian food, does that mean that I'm a gentrifier of Italians? Like, I guess we're not allowed to cook food from other cultures. No, babe. See, one thing about me, I know how to cook. Like, I actually know how to cook. I know how to use seasoning. And I like to cook foods from a lot of cultures because I'm such a foodie. But that doesn't mean I'm going to build a brick and mortar location and start selling food that's not a part of my culture for 100 times the price.
But you are deciding someone else's intent, which is rather ignorant and authoritarian of you.
That's the point that I was trying to make. And the problem with specifically people doing this type of thing, the problem with specifically Americans doing this type of thing is the same problem with y'all moving into people's neighborhoods, buying up houses that you can afford, renovating them, not talking to any of the locals, building restaurants and stores and consignments that are modeled after their cultures but have nothing to do with including them.
Again, you are deciding what you think other people should do with their own lives. You can't possibly decide the reasons why someone else is doing what they're doing. To decide for somebody else that their actions have ill will behind them when all they're doing is embracing capitalism and doing the best that they can. That's pretty fucking ignorant. If such a person opens up a business and they're charging 100 times what you think something is worth, then just go somewhere else. If you don't like the certain actions of an entrepreneur, then you do not have to interact with them. And of course, you don't have to give them your money.
Take their money.
Have money exchange hands for goods and services.
Take their land.
Buy property.
Take their whatever. Y'all always want to talk about somebody taking somebody's jobs. That's actually what y'all are good at. Y'all love to project.
If an entrepreneur opens up a business, then surely that gives the opportunity for locals in the area to get a job working there.
Siphoning off of cultures, recipes, traditions that were built over years and years by people who you don't even respect.
So if a person opens up an eatery or a restaurant and they happen to embrace a different kind of culture to theirs, then it must mean that they're disrespecting that culture. What? You really are ignorant.
If you love Mexican food so much, why you don't just go patronize a Mexican business instead of making your own Mexican restaurant?
Would you have a problem with a car dealership selling Ferraris if the car salesman happens to be American? I mean, it just looks to me like you are wanting every single person to stay within their cultural lanes just because people like you don't like it. I guess maturity hits people at different stages.
The other thing is that, like, you can't even sit there and say that it's appreciation that you love Mexican food so much because y'all be making it wrong.
So you're presuming that just because a person doesn't belong to the culture of the food that they're making, that they must be doing it wrong. That is a very ignorant assumption. Do you really think people would spend time, labor, money, and planning into doing something so extraordinary as opening up a business if they didn't know what they were doing?
Hence my point. Y'all love to throw some parsley and some microgreens on something. Y'all love to remix something and call it a different name, paying no homage to the people who stewarded these recipes and these traditions to begin with.
How the hell can you presume that they're not paying homage to the culture that they're embracing? That may be the very reason why they're doing this in the first place. I'm gonna stop it there because I've already hit the 3-minute mark, but basically in the rest of the video, she just goes on to blame white people for everything, Like I said, if you don't like how people run their own businesses, then just vote with your fucking wallet. That's all you gotta do.